Hi, this is a very quick overview of the Immersify prototype. Our goal with the Immersify platform is to build a truly AI-enabled platform that will allow advertisers to discover and work with thousands of influencers at scale. Immersify will also allow advertisers to see how their influencer campaigns are performing and track them with meaningful metrics. What we have here is just a static prototype that just shows you all the potential functionality. Our work will be to breathe life into this over the next 6 months and make this truly functional. So here's how it works in a nutshell. Immersify will enable brands and influencers to work together. Brands get to create campaigns and collaborate with influencers who will bid on these campaigns. Once the campaigns are being finalized, influencers create great content and get paid for this, while brands get to see how these campaigns which are being created or content which is being created by influencers, how it's actually performing. So Immersify is a platform that will allow advertisers to set up campaigns, shortlist influencers and enlist them, and do this effortlessly and easily. I'll walk you through the prototype to give you a rough sense of what's possible and what we are building towards. So the key part, the first part that a platform of this sort should enable is helping brands or advertisers discover the right kind of influencers. So what does that mean? So Instagram alone, which we have started with, has about 200 million people in India who are already on this, and every single one is a potential influencer. Gathering data on all of them is an enormous task, and that's what separates us. Gathering this data and analyzing it and bucketing this into meaningful categories is what separates us from the typical social media agencies that might also be offering influencer marketing as an offering of theirs. This cannot be done by them at true scale the way we are envisioning it. So how do you, for instance, determine who the right sort of fashion influencers are? You have to be able to trawl through all of this data, this 200 million, which also, by the way, is increasing rapidly every single day, and do this across platforms. To start with, for testing it out in the market, we're just starting with one platform, which is Instagram. So this gives you a sense of how anyone setting up a campaign, whether that's an advertiser or an agency, would filter for specific kinds of influencers. These are various filter options that are possible. So here's where, after the work we put in, gathering all the influencer data and bucketing them and highlighting who's a potential good influencer, this is what will show up when these filters are applied by an advertiser. So advertisers can, or agencies can use these filters, use the platform to pick the right sort of influencers and reach out to them. So this shows how you to come and work with you. This is an example of a page of an influencer showcasing the kind of content he's posted on various platforms that he's on. So these are various screens that just make the whole workflow of communication between advertisers and influencers possible through the platform. So the other key part of running a campaign, especially at scale with maybe thousands of influencers, is figuring out how exactly the campaign is running. So what was the true reach, what is the engagement, what are the likes that each individual piece of content got. So our goal, of course, with the platform is to enable advertisers to work with not just one or two celebrity influencers, but with a whole swath of them. So maybe even 500 or even 1,000. So that's going to take some time, but reporting tools have to be able to deal with that kind of scale. So how do you visualize the performance of 1,000 different individuals you're working with, or even 100 or 50? So this shows you the chat workflow that's going to be available in the platform. For the MVP, probably not, because we are prioritizing discovery of influencers and campaign reporting, which are both key from the perspective of running a campaign. So these are various other screens that show you what's possible, what we intend to build in the platform. The platform will have a managed service option and a self-service option. In self-service, our idea is that when the platform is polished, it will be easy enough for an advertiser of any scale, even someone willing to spend say 50,000 a month, to come on board, find an influencer and talk to them and run an entire campaign through the platform with very little intervention from us. In the early days, it will be important to reach out to big spenders, allow them to know what is possible through the platform, walk them through the various features of the platform and get them to run a campaign so we can start getting feedback from the market. This is what we call the managed option. And in the early days, our goal is to focus on the managed option and get some version of it ready and out in the market so that we can start getting feedback. All right, thank you. So that's a brief summary of what we're building with Immersify.